I'm doing the presentation today because we have a new version of the Trusted Referral Network website, which many of you are aware of, but many of you may not have gone to the site, tried it out, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time sharing some of the new features of the Trusted Referral Network site. It's largely the same as the original, but let me put my timer on. I'm actually up in Connecticut again, so I only have one screen, so I have to be a little more adept at managing my real estate. But I will put on my phone for 15 minutes, as well as the time. We'll see how that works. Okay, start that. Wonderful. Okay. Now I am going to share my screen. Okay, did everybody see the Trusted Referral Network homepage?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Adjusting things here so you see the whole thing. Hey, that's funky. No, that's okay, I guess. All right. So the homepage looks very similar. You can, search by keyword, although keyword will give you access to more than just the title. So if people have keywords in their description that they want to be able to be found on, you can do that. You can also search by category and region. So you can filter on all of those things. So if I were looking for software, it would show up. My listing should show up. There may be others that show up. Look at that. Nathan Siegel. Why does this show up? Because, as I said, in his description, he must have the word software. And sure enough, I think I saw it in here somewhere. There it is, software reviews. Okay, so anything you put in your description will be found on the search. If I wanted to do software and only search for people who are in mobile and web development, that should probably just show up as mine. No, Studio Labs. There you go. So here, I think it's an and. So in Studio Labs, and Chris, I think, wrote this, software is likely to be a term in here somewhere. There it is, software. Okay. So Chris and I both have the term software in our description, and we're both in this category, mobile and web development. Stop me at any time if you have questions. Other things on the homepage that you might be interested in, that we have some testimonials. If anybody wants to do a testimonial, I'm happy to put them on here. So you'll see if I hit play, this is, I don't know if you can hear that, but that is Alan Winikoff giving a testimonial. And we have now, I think, 3 testimonials, including John Parsons, and Bryce Wade, and of course, Alan Winikoff.
Bryce Wade, that's interesting. I know him.
Yeah, he's a member as well. Under featured listings, this is for people who pay to have, once you start, you have the paid subscription, you can upgrade your listing or your membership to featured, which would have your listing shown here. Menus, same as it was. So we have the industry focus, of which you can choose 3. And I recommend that you do that unless you find it too constraining. You'll also notice that the menus are a little easier because they're not hover menus. They're click menus, so that, if I click on marketing and sales, it stays open, it persists. We have space for sponsors as well under these, currently under these 6 categories. I don't know if we have any sponsors on the call today. Events, similar, Tuesday meetings, Wednesday meetings. Once you click this, it'll take you to the registration page, which you probably have already done. and that will enable you to download a recurring reminder or a recurring event. A little bit about us, contact us, membership, pricing. So let me show pricing because it's relevant. After your 3-month trial, which you are all on as of probably late December, and that's a standard membership, you will have the option of continuing your membership by paying either $360 a year for what you have, or you could upgrade to 2 different levels, and you'll see what those give you. And you can do that at any time. One of the things that you can do once you have a paid membership is you could purchase add-ons. And that means you could purchase additional listings if you so choose, if you want to be in multiple categories. That would be a good reason to have multiple listings. What else? Let me take you to my account page. I am logged in as under software development resources. So if I go to my account page, you'll see I have a user profile, which is about me personally. It's got my address. I can add some biographical information, which would enable people to search keywords on the Find Member page. I have my company website. It could be a personal website. And the reason I say it could be personal, like my LinkedIn, is because you also have a business profile. So you have a user profile and a business profile. This is different from the prior version. So the business profile will be your core business. You should upload your logo, business name, description, etc., and some of your business contact information. So here you can see that I use my business LinkedIn, and that will show up on my listing if you want to contact me via my business LinkedIn, for example. And then it's got all the information about where it's located, number of employees, average project size. This looks like a listing profile, but it is the base information from which the listing will pull, basic business information. So as I said before, going on, now that I've right now I don't have a paid membership either. So if I wanted to upgrade to my paid membership, $360 a year, that would enable me to add more listings. Doesn't show here. My listings will show my listings as it implies. Again, I have no more available listings. I have this one listing, which you can edit, you can view it, you can hide it if for some reason you feel like you're interviewing for a job and decide that you don't want your listing to be available here, or for some other reason. And so if I hit view listing, you'll see your listing. Right, this is my listing as it's viewed by the public. Actually, it's as it's viewed by other members. And the reason I know that is because my standard referral fee shows up here. If I'm not signed in, the referral fees of other members will not show up. That's another slight minor change. My subscriptions, you'll see your subscription. So I have a 3-month trial membership like all of you. Mine expires like many of yours sometime in September or something along those lines. And you could look at details, which shows exactly when it started, etc. If you want to auto renew it. So it will remind me that I need to renew in 3 months. I can also suspend it. Let's see. Another feature that most people haven't probably taken advantage of is you can add favorites. So if I go to a listing, let's say I go to, I don't know, let's go to sales coaching and training, sales optimization group.
Right.
There you go.
I gotta do better.
I can add as a favorite. And I do that because I've known Ron for probably the longest of anybody I've known here. And if I go back to my account and my favorites, there he is. Ron shows up. So this might be a good way to, just keep track of the people that you really know and you've developed a relationship with and you want to be able to refer business to. Feel free to favorite those people, that's part of the future.
Michael?
Yes.
Is there a cap on how many favorites you can have?
Not that I know of. It's a good question. Moving on. Let's see. I have a few more minutes. What do I have left? 5 minutes left. Okay.
Oh, and Michael?
Yes.
Can you arrange the favorites in a certain order?
I don't think so. I think they all just show up. Yeah. So member directory is all of the members. It's only accessible to other members because you can't get to it unless you go through your account menu, and that will enable me to search. There's only one Berzano as far as I know. There's probably no Berzanos, and there he is. And if I want to chat with Russ, I can just hit chat, and this will open up a chat. So glad to see you at today's meeting. So he'll get an email indicating that he has a chat message, and then he can come directly back and chat with me. Of course, I could always, there's other information. All of this information should be Russ's personal profile information, not his business information. Also, if I go to Russ Berzano, it should list. So this is his page, your member number 331, and it shows your listing. So I could see not only, that you're Russ, but I could click on it and see, go to your listings. So I could click on this. It'll take me to Russ's listing. All right. Going back, chat. You could change your password. You could log out. What else? I do have information about setting up an account, which you already have, and listings. These are videos that are referring to the old site, so they're a little bit outdated. I'm going to update those. Frequently asked questions, I just updated, hopefully correctly. Things like, do I need to be, here we go. I need to put the word A in here. Do I need to be a trusted referral network member to post a listing? Yes, you do. I talk about the 3-month trials, etc. So feel free to use that. Any questions regarding using the site as a logged in user? Or any more questions? Thank you, Rajiv, for the questions you had.
So, Michael, I was just kind of like playing with it in real time, as you were saying, because since the last time you mentioned it, I actually did go in there and kind of update it, add a few new image assets and things like that. So I was looking for you by your name and like nothing came up. So I went to the homepage and I entered inside of the keyword, I put Michael Bendit.
Yeah, you're not going to find that. You're not going to find, if you're in the home page, if you're looking for members, you have to go to the account. So here, Bendit is not going to show anything because it's not in the listing, right? But if I go to my account and search find members, that's where you're going to find me right now. Obviously, I can look for myself. I'm sure that'll work. There I am.
So I don't know, maybe just as an idea, maybe on that main page in that field, like one of the drop downs says category. So maybe just as an idea, one of the other drop downs could be member. So this way, then people can either search for members and or the category from that one single unified interface.
Yeah, that's certainly doable. This is really the public facing listing, a search, whereas search for members is only accessible to other members, which is why it's in the accounts section.
So as an idea, another idea, Michael, is that by including it in there, then you're kind of queuing people to become a member, because then it'll show up a message that says only available to members, and then click here to become a member,
I could do something like that. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
That makes sense that it should be on one, because I would probably think that it should be on the thing if I'm looking for somebody. I wouldn't know to go to my account and look for it over there, because it sounds like it's hidden.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to look for somebody, as you said, over here, especially considering you have keyword and category, and not to have the member there, I think would be surprising.
Okay.
Because that's the way I
I'll see
would
what I can do.
think. So, you're doing it from like leaving people off because of membership, but it's not user friendly to the group.
Yeah, I'll see if I could have that upgrade. That makes a lot of sense. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's a main feature, is that we would be looking to find somebody, especially either their contact information or whatever.
Right. If you do want to make yourself more visible, you can add, those important keywords into your listing, like your name, etc. So, for example, if I wanted to look up Lisner, if this were in your listing, it would show up. So if you had, for example, it's dynamic. So let's look up the word dynamic. You know how I know it's dynamic? Because it's not schlep along.
Do you see how verbiage, how important it is when you think of somebody's languaging?
There you go. All right. So that's a quick and dirty way. If you want to be found, add that to your description, right? Say to find me, just put your name in there, and that'll make you reachable from the main search. That's a quick and dirty response, easy way to do it. Okay. My time's, yep.
Yeah, so like if somebody sends you a message, is there going to be some sort of a visual notification or something? Like, do you have like a bell icon or something like that with the notification numbers listed near it?
I believe, Russ, did you get something from me? You should have gotten an email. I'm not.
No.
Like I just sent you a message via the chat. So that's why I just wanted to check, because since you were screen sharing, I wanted to see if that kind of popped up.
Let's see. It should. Something should pop up. Maybe. Oh yeah, chat. You see, one chat. So I have a chat, and it says, I hope you didn't say anything foul here. Here's the chats. So this is an unread chat. It's indicated by the red button there. I open it up. Love the new headshot from your Balenciaga photo shoot. It was actually from tryiton.ai.
Yeah, Balenciaga is like a famous high-end, high fashion brand.
Oh, okay. All right. So my time's up. So I don't want to, dominate the conversation here. So let me close this out. I did want to give, of course, everyone a chance to introduce themselves. We have a few more members joining. Robert Weiss joined, and of course, Rajiv. So I'm going to put the order more or less. I don't think we have. Yes, Lori Cartman is a guest, right? You're not yet a member. I think anybody else a guest? No, that's pretty much it. So you know what, Lori, since you are, although you did show up, I'm going to put you, I don't know, third or fourth, so that you can see how it's done. But otherwise, in the chat, I'm going to put the order in which, whoops, that didn't work, or maybe it did. People showed up. Yes, Kat Krieger, Russ Brazano, John Parsons. And I think we have, I don't know, we have how many people? I think we have 12 people. Why don't we do 2 minutes? And I will put it in speaker mode view so that the speaker is recorded in full screen. So why don't we go and start with Kat? Kat, are you ready to do an intro? Take it away.
So I'm officially Kat Kennan now. If you're curious about the name change, you can view that post on LinkedIn because I rechristened myself. My company is called Radical Customer Experience, and I help companies with their external facing diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging initiatives. Specifically, I teach strengths-based marketing and trauma-informed marketing. And I am the co-author of a book that's coming out for pre-sale on Tuesday during Prime Day, Kindle only. So if we're not connected on LinkedIn, please connect with me and share. Download the free ebook on Tuesday. I'd really appreciate it.
Wonderful. So it was originally trauma-informed customer experience, right? And you added one more thing. I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's strengths-based.
I'm sorry?
Strengths-based instead of fear.
Strengths-based. Very cool. Any other questions for Kat? She's got a few more minutes. All right.
Yeah, I have a question. Are you focused mostly on strategy or visual branding, or like what's your main focus?
I would say strategy, but I can dive into your CRM and marketing automation and do audits with that lens. So yeah, but
Thanks.
I am a certified trauma-informed professional in addition to being a forever marketer.
Very cool. And I see you've got a serious backup wall there. Is that a real wall?
Forever marketer, I love that.
It is indeed the real wall in my apartment.
And a forever marketer. Okay. Thank you. Russ Rosano, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Russ Bruzano, RGB Design. I am a graphic designer and website designer. On the website side, I do everything from design to development, mostly in WordPress these days, although I do write HTML and CSS should you have the need for that. On the print side, basically, if you've seen it printed on it, I've designed for it. From billboards to print ads to magazines to, I don't know, buttons. You know, basically, if you can print on it, I've designed for it. Been doing it for over 25 years. Yeah, I mean, great client for me would be a startup, or usually websites are $10,000 or less. On the print side, I've done huge runs, I've done small runs as far as design for, so there's really no limit there. That's it, Russ Bruzano, RGB Design.
Right. Do you know there's one print broker. Do you know David Drucker? Might be a good guy to speak to.
You know, the last name sounds familiar to me. Actually, I might have had a one-on-one with him.
All right.
Yeah, I used to be a printing broker back in like the 80s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if you want an intro. He's actually, you could find him on the site. He's a member, but not an active member. David Drucker.
Very good.
I think it's called high resolution printing.
Okay.
Or you just search under printing. John Parsons.
Okay, wow, thanks. Hi guys. It was great, by the way, hosting. I was the guest host last week. It was fun.
Thank you for that.
Fun experience. Anyway, John Parsons, Into Ideas. We're a bespoke video marketing studio, very small one. We do a lot of our video is done via remote capture, so we don't have to send a crew out. We're also doing a lot with interactive video, specifically video that doesn't require an underlying platform to be interactive. And we've been doing quite a few tech explainer videos for tech companies. Was kind of our sweet spot starting, but we're increasingly doing more and more book trailers. I'm also a ghostwriter, so I have a lot of publishing connections. By the way, the word Drucker means printer in German, which is very, very apropos. So explainers, recently, because of my connections, we're doing more book trailers. And book trailers are fascinating because a lot of people think you have to explain the whole book or do a summary, like a PowerPoint summary of the book. And then when people watch those, they say, oh, okay, I got it. And they don't buy the book. So we're finding more success with book trailers that are like 60-second or a minute and a half movies that have an interesting opener and asking the 2 or 3 questions that the book answers in a dramatic form and building more tension, building more interest. So at the end, they say, find the answers. And then the call to action is click on Amazon or click on the publisher website. So it's been fascinating, much more fun than your typical video, because we're doing one on a noir murder mystery. So we get to use footage from the Maltese Falcon, which is public domain, and a lot of cool stuff, a lot of guys in fedoras, and a lot of shadow effects. So it's fun. Anyway, that's me, John Parsons at Into Ideas.
I got a question for you. Did you put the timer on your window? Okay. All right.
It
Good.
was fairly easy because the plugin follows your account.
Yes.
So it worked well.
Yes. So if anybody's interested, the timer that I have is a free timer. When you put it on, apparently it only shows up in the window of the user. But as John indicated, he could put it on for himself as well. Okay. Lori Cartman.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Cartman. My business is Lori Cartman and Company. We have a couple of divisions. We're a full service management consulting firm. We specialize in franchise development, and we do anything that has to do with sales and marketing, with legals, financials, HR, and operations. The largest part of my business and my practice is a professional copywriting practice. I've been writing since I was 9. I started a school newspaper in grade 4. And I've been writing ever since, and that's my passion project, and it's what I love to do. So most of the writing that I do, I work with marketing agencies or companies directly, because a lot of webmasters or graphic designers, they do the design or they do the back end of the web and the programming, but a lot of them don't typically offer the copywriting part. They rely on the client to provide the copy. So I've been partnering with marketing firms that either need extra copywriting, they need more bandwidth, or they don't have a copywriter, in which case they add me and I become an additional service that they can offer their clients. So now they can say they're full stack web developers because they do the copywriting as well as doing the design of the space. So I write blogs and websites and video scripts and marketing campaigns and brochures and any kind of business writing, anything that a business would need. That's the kind of writing that I do.
Wonderful. Okay, all business writing. All right, Rochelle. And by the way, Rochelle was featured in this week's newsletter because she has an ask. Rochelle, take it away.
Okay, it is Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth. And as Michael already knows, I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. I find that companies suffer because they cannot talk about their business in a compelling way. So many of the clients I work with are long-winded, boring, and speak common. Or if not, they speak jargon, which is even worse than common. So I always ask, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? What's the extraordinary story that if I was to hear that story, I would know that you would be the clear choice? And working on and creating these stories is where I do some of my best work. I do have an ask. I am going to be once again doing my Ultimate Power Pitch program. I'm targeting to do it at the end of next month, and I need to do some market research. Like, how are people struggling in the concept of speaking about your business? I always say that people spend a lot of time and money on their brand. They look at their brand for their business. Some take a separate look and look at their personal brands. Who are they within the organization? But I don't know anybody that pays attention to their verbal branding. What are you saying? How do you say it so that you do become the clear choice? So if anybody would be hopeful and helpful and want to do a 20-minute conversation with me so that I can kind of dig deep and say, do you have issues in these areas? I would really appreciate it. So you could put your contact in the chat and I will reach out to you. And then I would thank you for that. So again, it's dynamic business growth, and you want to go from unclear to unforgettable.
Yeah,
Right.
Rochelle, I think you should have a chat with Victor Lee. I think what you're doing aligns pretty closely with his new venture called Story Quotient.
I spoke to him already. I spoke to him about that.
Okay, nice.
Thank you. I gave him some feedback on that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And if other people have, specific requests of the membership, other than sort of general business leads, et cetera, I'm happy to add that to the newsletter. So don't be shy. Ron Hubsher.
First of all, good to see everybody. And Michael, thank you so much. It looks like you put a lot of effort and work into the upgraded website and software. So I'm sure that was non-trivial. So big thank you for that. I'm Ron Hubsher, and I just have a question for you guys. Have you ever been in your bed late at night, like on a Friday night, 3 o'clock, and you're tossing and turning? You're working on a big opportunity, a big proposal, and you thought you had it won, but the client called up and said, hey, they needed a big discount. And now you're really upset because you thought you had the deal won. You want to get paid your full asking price, and you're not sure what to do. Do you just take it and do the business at a loss or a low wage? You push back and wonder if you're going to lose the deal, and you're just really upset. Well, we make sure that can never happen again. That will never happen to you again. I run a sales and negotiation trading company. We work with companies of all sizes. On the large size, we do work with companies like Google, Oracle, DocuSign, and we go down to even smaller companies as well. And that's what we do. We do a sales and negotiation trading and consulting business, and delight to meet everyone. And by the way, I've known Michael going back to graduate school, so 1989.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Ron Hubsher. So
I just have one more comment for Rajiv. That is an awesome. Is it avatar? I don't even know the correct term for these things, but yeah, that is pretty awesome, man.
Thank you.
And one other thing, John, I sent you a message. Let's connect after this.
Cool. And by the way, everyone, and John has already done this, drop your LinkedIn or other contact information in the chat. And at the end, I will ask everybody to download the chat so that you have that information. Of course, now as a member, you could always search on people's names, and you might want to add your own name to your listing as well. Okay.
Mike, one last thing, and anyone can download a copy of my book from our website, Sales OG. It's complimentary for everybody, so feel free if you'd like to.
Thank you. Closing time. Great name. Nathan Siegel.
Good morning, all. Nathan Siegel calling you from Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. What I've been doing primarily is ghostwriting and showing people how to save up to 80% of the time and money it would take to write a book. So in my details in the chat there's a link to a little 6-minute long video that explains my process and how it would work for anybody who wants to work with me. I'm working on another project, actually revisiting something I did several years ago. It's a resource guide for people who want to do photography. So if you're working on photography in the studio, you want to learn how to photograph art on the wall, you want to understand white balance, stuff like that. It was part of a book that I wrote many years ago. It was a joint venture. And what I want to do is revisit that, update it, and then look for licensing agreements, which is something I did many years ago. It was a really great way to go. And it's, for those of you here, if you're not familiar with it, licensing is a great way to leverage your time, because you find the right deal. Like in the case of this book that I did a number of years ago, you do it once, you get paid 10,000 times, or 20,000, or 100,000. So if it's something, this kind of licensing, sometimes known as a joint venture, if any of you here are interested in that, you'd like to learn more about how it works, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation with you.
So is that licensing out your IP? Is that the way it is?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So writing a book, creating photographs, you create a license for it, an agreement, and you people can use your IP. Like in the case that I did this, it was with the Corel Corporation in Canada. I wrote a software manual, branded it to their software, and then they sold it as a value add with their software. It's a good way to go.
Cool. All right. Chris Esposito.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Chris Esposito. I run sales and marketing for a custom development shop based out of New York City called Studio Labs. So we've been in business for the past 20 years building web, mobile, and SaaS software solutions. Over the past 20 years, we've built thousands of digital products, and they range from websites to custom e-commerce sites to enterprise SaaS software, NFT platforms, streaming video platforms, and everything else in between. Lately, no surprise, we've had quite a bit of a run on AI. If you guys have heard of AI, everybody's laughing. It's coming out of the woodwork. We've had to kind of plan our company's future around AI right now. So that's a good thing, though. Projects are most often quite large. Two of our key target markets are startup software founders, CEOs. They have an idea, they have some money, they want a product architected correctly, an MVP built as quickly as possible out the door, and then someone to maintain that for a number of years until they can bring that discipline inside. And then any type of sales, marketing, social agency also makes a great partner for us. So again, Chris Esposito from Studio Labs, and I'm trying to shake the fog off after a 5-day holiday weekend.
Yeah, that can be tough, right? Yeah.
It's great until you come back and try to re-engage.
Exactly. Well, you did a fine job.
Thank you, Michael.
Couldn't tell that you were still hungover, so all good. All right. Who is up next? Krista Janik.
Who trusts you and why? I feel like one of the groups that hungers the most to be known, trusted, and best of all remembered would be thought leaders. And that's who I look to serve: thought leaders, speakers, people with ideas. So I have an ask today. I used to shy away from my personal journey, whereas now I'm embracing it. I'm speaking about it. People may know me as the writer and amateur skier who just happens to be blind. I'm speaking next week, and I need some visual input. I need someone just to quickly take a look at a video and a photo of me in my outfit with my makeup on, because I want to make sure that I have enough makeup for the stage. It's going to be in a theater setting here in Belmore, New York. It's an old movie theater that also has a show space with a stage. So it's relatively intimate, but I still do want to make sure that I'm okay. I'm going to be okay in the spotlight and not look exhausted. So if someone doesn't mind, people don't mind doing that for me, that's my ask for today. If you can let me know, and I'll email or instant message you that video and photo.
All right, you did get one volunteer at least, Kat Krieger. You could always obviously reach out to me. I'm happy to give you some feedback, although I'm not an expert in makeup for the stage, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess I would ask people who are familiar with the spotlight. I know we have some video and graphic people on here.
Yeah, I've got a few makeup artists that I work with that I could forward your video to. They're probably the best to tell you, because if you did your makeup here and took a video and then went on stage, the lighting will be different. So you have different makeup for more hot lights, which is probably going to be at the stage, hot lights versus soft lights. So happy to.
So that was Robert Weiss, and he's obviously a video expert. We'll tell you about it. He'll tell you more about it in a few minutes, right after Rajiv Jadhav. So I think video experts would be the right people, or their makeup experts. Rajiv, you're up.
Yeah, thank you. I'll keep it brief. As you can see, tell from my Zoom background, I'm the assassin. What do? I take out anything that needs taken out from the internet, namely the bad. Oh, by bad, what is bad? Bad is whatever you say it is. It is bad press, it's scandal, it's bad reviews. Because that left unattended is killing your business. It is killing your prospects, and it is driving your customers away from you into the open arms of your competition. Nobody likes that, right? So that's what I do. I'm the solution. I take out whatever needs taken out. And that's what I do. Here's a small fun fact. If you have some bad press connected to you and you're doing a product launch, chances are that this is delaying your product launch. And companies on average lose $1 million to $13 million a day. I'll say that again. Companies lose $1 million to $13 million a day for every day of product launch delay. So if that's something that you're dealing with, well, we have a solution for that through our SaaS product, Lily Launch Tools, which is the only software that helps companies make their launch better, faster, and smoother. And it's also real easy to use. And I'll drop a link in the chat so that you can take the software out for a trial run. And as a gift to this community, we'll extend that 30-day trial to a 60-day trial. No credit card needed, of course. And I'll leave it there. So if you need anything taken out, if you want to get your product launch done faster, righter, let me know. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. Okay. And last but not least, Robert Weiss. Robert, you're probably on mute.
All right. Good morning, everybody, or I guess not good afternoon yet. Nice to see some new faces and some old ones. My company is Multivision Digital. We're all about video. That's all that we do. And just by kind of use case examples, I thought that I would just kind of go over some of the different projects we've been working on. So you can kind of understand the depth and breadth of video, because it's still widely misunderstood of how you can, video is just content. That's all it is. And as marketers, business owners, we're creating content all the time, and so are your clients. So New York State Society of CPAs, we did a recruiting video because they wanted to target more of the younger generation coming out of college or even in high school, thinking about having a career in accounting. We're working on a 3D project, completely 3D, for a water filtration company where they have basically this long tube where water comes in, and as water comes in and filters out, it gets dirty inside and it like spins around and self-cleans itself and then kind of spits all the junk out the other way. Pretty cool stuff. So we're doing a 3D project. We are doing a couple projects for entrepreneur organization. I think everybody knows them, EO. They've been around for a while. So a lot of more thought leadership series where they're having their members come in, and we're doing a batch production, which we're shooting the whole day. And then the other one, we did a 2-day shoot for a 180,000 square foot pharmaceutical company in Columbus, Ohio, as part of a press release that they launched of their new facility. They have 2 other facilities, but this is like, clean room manufacturing, lots of bells and whistles that they wanted to use that in conjunction with the big press launch that they had. So that's some use cases and applications, around video, and happy to chat with anybody to talk more, give you ideas. So.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody before I go? Okay. I'll put the timer on. So my name is Michael Bendit. My core business is software. Just like Robert's video.
It works, right?
It does. And it's not schlep along software either. So what's unique about me is that I don't write a single line of code. I'm sure Chris doesn't write a single line of code either. My job is sales, and I'm representing about a dozen software development teams. that all have different capabilities and expertise. Some are in the US, some are offshore, and some are dual shore. In fact, those are the teams I do most of my work with, those dual shore teams, because it gives the customer sort of the best of both worlds. They get the benefit of having being able to talk with somebody here in the US who understands the language, the culture, et cetera, but much of the price savings, the cost savings associated with having the developers be offshore. Great leads for me. We do a lot of white labeling, so we work with agencies that don't always have those resources in-house. Even if they do have a programmer or two, sometimes they don't have the right resources or enough resources. So when I say the right resources, it means a platform or something comes their way, or a job comes their way on a platform they're not familiar with. So it's important to have the right skills for the job. They don't want to lose the job because there's a lot more to it than just the development. They take on the marketing side. They ask us to take on the tech side, and that's where we focus on the tech side. So great leads for me, as I mentioned, small, mid-sized marketing agencies, web designers, et cetera, who don't always have those skills in-house. All right, I'm going to open it up to gallery mode again. Any comments, questions? We're always, of course, looking for more members. If you know of people who you currently work with, perhaps you subcontract to, or they subcontract you for marketing related or sales related work, happy to have them here. It's about building the community of trusted resources. Try out the new website, upgrade your listing, add your name to your listing description, because as we now know, you could find if my name is on my listing description, people will be able to find that as the keyword in the main search page, or maybe any other tags you might want to have, and just put them at the bottom of the description. It should work. And we do have some openings for showcases, but not until August. So we're booked through the rest of this month. The next available, I think, is August 2nd. So if you want to do a showcase, you can find that link by going to the homepage or to the menu item. I'm sorry, the menu at trustref.net under events. So it's the showcase sign up. I'm going to share that. Let's close this out, shrink that. Showcase, so under events, showcase sign up, right? And that will bring you to the sign up zone. Looks like I have to log in. Whatever, I'll do this later. But if you go to sign up zone, you'll see that we have opening starting in August. Okay, we'll do this later. Stop sharing. Any other comments, questions? Anybody want to talk about a particular topic? We have 7 more minutes.
Yeah, Michael. So I was just, I just love TRN, love the community and love the products, and I was just kind of playing around with it. So I noticed that R-Square didn't come up in the search for reputation management, despite being listed against the category of reputation management. So I was just, hoping you can kind of like look into that.
Yeah, that's strange. Okay. It may, for some reason, did you edit it recently?
Yeah.
Aha, it probably hasn't been approved yet. When did you edit it?
I don't know, at least a week or so ago.
Okay, I will look into it. I try to stay on top of that. Okay. If anybody else's listing is not showing, definitely look for your listing. Yeah, you can always log in and see why it may not be listing. It would say pending approval if you log in and go to your listings. But I will check up on that. Any other questions, comments, John?
I had a very interesting session that when I subbed for you, we didn't have many people, but I asked people to share what their plans were for AI and what the positives are going to be and what the possible negatives were going to be. I think you recorded it.
Yes.
We came up with some interesting scenarios because some people had thought it through, like Victor was all over it. But some people had said, I don't know, because all they have is access to ChatGPT or Google Bard, and they're not sure what to do with it or how to. So there's this scramble, especially among creatives, for what to do and how it's going to impact their business. And the consensus seemed to be that I'm going to use it as a tool, but the level of the baseline of mediocrity has risen because people are going to put junk in because they can, and so more people are going to have this mediocre messaging in their SEO, in their social posts, and we're going to have to think more deeply about the creative aspect. What do we do that exceeds that distinguishes us from the noise that AI is going to generate? What's the signal? So it was a really interesting session last week. I learned stuff from my book that I'm going to be able to use, because creatives especially are scared that this is going to take their jobs, and they really don't need to be if they have original thought and original creative motive to go above the noise. It was fascinating.
And thank you, John, for leading that. I was away on vacation, and that particular day I was really away, so didn't have the chance to do it from my hotel room.
Anytime, Michael.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, so I've been playing with AI and AI tools recently, and something that I discovered was, yes, there's a lot of buzz around AI generating images, text to images specifically, and I played with about 10 or so different tools. And the takeaway from that experience was that a large amount of tools out there are complete garbage. The only tool that produces any kind of worthwhile result, in my opinion, is Bing Image Creator. Since I've tried that, and the images that come out of it, depending on what command you put in, are actually high quality images. And they offer images in a good variety of illustration styles, and are actually passable as is without any modification after the fact. So if anyone is looking for a great free AI tool that generates images for you by putting in a few words of text, I would highly recommend Bing Image Creator that leverages DALL-E, which is, I think, a GPT-4 like tool.
Yes. Okay. Take care, Lori. By the way, before you leave, if everybody would take a moment to save the chat, that would be a good time to do that. So if you open up your chat, the three dots which indicate the menu, click on that, and then the first item is Save Chat.
I have an ask.
Sure.
I want to get a Wikipedia page built. My understanding is that, like, I can't do it because my business, somebody else needs to do it, and they have some pretty high authority in terms of backlinking and stuff like that. The couple people I've spoken with, like, I guess a lot of money is all relative, but it's just more than I would want to spend. They're like in the 1,500s to 3,000 ranges just for like a page with some backlinks. So if anybody knows anybody that's much more affordable in the 300 to 500 range, that would be great.
Yeah, Robert, chat.
Robert, okay. I can help you there, because I used to do a lot of writing for blogs and such for clients, and they asked me to do their company's Wikipedia page. And Wikipedia now has the ability for paid people to acknowledge they're being paid and write it. But what I prefer to do before, I'm hoping that you and I can do some business together, but I'd like to do this before we formally enter any contract and contractual things. So I can just do it as a Wikipedia author. And we can just do it as friends, because it gets thorny once you have a business relationship with the person you're writing about. So we're going to talk later today, I think.
Yeah.
And so we can talk about that too, because that's something I just enjoy doing, especially in this group.
TRF comes through again.
Yep. No, it's great. My pleasure.
Right, wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining. Keep it up. Take a look at your listing. Play with the new Trusted Referral Network website. As I said, I'm going to go right now and add my name to my business listing so that when you search for me, it'll show up.
One last thing, Robert, send me a Zoom for today, okay?
Okay. That's good.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Cheers.